Are you ready for retirement? I know you're probably a lot younger than retirement age, but you need to be thinking about it today.
I graduated from college at 21 years of age. In the mid-'80s, at that time, companies were getting rid of pensions. I worked for the government and they just got rid of their pension plan and switched to 401ks. That was a new thing. 401ks were never intended to be a main retirement. My boss came to me and told me that I need to start saving in the company's 401k. I thought he was crazy. I was 21. He was close to 60. I remember thinking, that's so far away. I'm not going to save for retirement. Luckily, I did listen to him, and I did put aside what I could. I don't even remember what it was, but it was probably up to the company match. I started out at $17,900, so it was small dollars.
Right, and so a company could match your contribution into a 401k, a company-sponsored 401k, and that could be up to 6%. You should take full advantage of that. So that is free money, and I would take advantage of anytime anybody's going to give you free money.
We didn't always do that. After I left my first job, I did not save. In my second job, I just thought money was too tight. I had a lot of expenses and I didn't save for the whole year, the whole first year, and I just threw that money away. That was free money.
Right, so inflation is out of control, as a lot of people know, and it affects everyone. But you know, even if you're putting away a small amount of money, it adds up over time, especially if you're young. Then that money, if you think about it, is going to grow over the next 20, 30, maybe 40 years. And so that little bit of money could turn out to be a decent amount when you're ready to retire.
But at a minimum, if you have a company that matches, definitely save up to the matched amount if your money's tight. And say it's 6%, that's not going to cost you the full 6%, because if it is a regular 401k, you're getting that as a tax deduction, or you're getting that as tax deferred, so it may come out to be 5 or even 4%. Depending on your circumstances, it's not the full 6%.
Right, so that money that you're saving in a 401k, and Sue brought up a good point there, is tax deferred, meaning you're not taxed for it on your paycheck when you contribute it. So you don't really pay tax until you take that money out when you're retired, which could be 20, 30, 40 years.
Now, if you do pay taxes up front, then you're saving in a Roth. We're going to put the IRS.gov website in the description. Any questions you have, we are not tax people at all, are we, Steve?
No, we are not tax advisors, accountants. You know, we're just sharing some experiences that we have had over the years.
And I'll be honest here, I was forced to take tax accounting in college. It's one of the few C's I got. So I do not enjoy taxes one bit.
Who enjoys taxes, especially tax day?
We've learned by making our mistakes. For example, not saving that 1 year working, I gave up all that money, and we've continued to make mistakes. And that's how I always say you learn, is by making mistakes. Maybe you'll learn from our mistakes.
And that's why we're sharing, because we have made many mistakes and we have learned what we should have done. So, you know, from experience comes wise or wisdom. So if the company doesn't have a 401k, what can you do? Well, you can do a lot of things. You can do an IRA, individual retirement account, and there's a lot of different security firms that offer that, like Schwab, Fidelity, T. Rowe Price, just to name a few, JP Morgan. It's really up to you to research that and decide which one. It doesn't really cost anything to open an account. It's just the money that you put in the account, and then you select what securities you want that money to be invested in so that you can build your return. You can go with stocks, you can go with bonds, you can go with EFETs, which are individual accounts that invest in many different companies. So really it's up to you, and it all depends on how much risk you want to take for the greater return. So what that means is the greater return that you get, the higher the risk.
And the IRS does have limits. The limit for an IRA is $6,500 for 2023. And if you're over 50 or older, you get a $1,000 catch up. So that is $7,500 for the year. It changes every year.
Yeah, and so take advantage of it if you can. I mean, it's a great deal of income to put into a 401k, but it does pay off later when you retire. I mean,
and don't think you're not going to see this money until you're 59 and a half, because 59 and a half is the year you no longer have to pay that 10% penalty for taking money out. There are some exceptions where you're allowed to take this out before 59 and a half, and they change yearly. So I'm going to tell you to go to the IRS.gov website to see what circumstances. I saw things like when you're unemployed and paying health insurance, which we didn't even know. During the Great Recession, we were unemployed and had to buy our own health insurance. But thankfully, we did not take money out of retirement. We drained our savings to pay for that health insurance. But there's other circumstances, and like I said, they change yearly, so we don't want to get into it and give you any wrong information.
Right, and so a lot of companies do also offer where you can borrow from your 401k. I don't advise it, but if that's necessary, you got to do what you got to do to survive.
But if you do borrow, and for some reason you are laid off or quit your job, I believe I've heard that money is required to be paid back instantly. And if you don't, then if you're under 59 and a half, you will be paying that 10% penalty in addition to federal and state taxes. It's not always a good idea to borrow from your 401k or 403b or whatever plan you have.
Right, and so as Sue said, she's going to put the website on the screen, irs.gov, and I recommend you go to that site and spend some time going through the different categories and subjects pages and understand exactly what is your liability with a 401k.
Or other retirement plans that you may have. We're not aware of all of the different retirement plans because we're not tax people.
Exactly. And that's why I recommend the IRS website to learn about that. You can also go to some of the brokerage firms, as I mentioned, Schwab, Fidelity, T. Rowe Price, JP Morgan, and they have pages and pages on retirement and taxing and that sort of thing.
I mean, we're just putting some ideas out there because our generation never talked about money. It was a forbidden topic. Today, people are getting a little bit more open in talking about money, but I don't think a lot of people talk about retirement. They don't think that day is ever going to come. And you're going to blink and it's here before you know it.
And that's surprising. I mean, you'll say, no, there's no way. I've got so many years, but you know, something, time flies.
You take it out of your check, you don't even notice the money gone.
Well, yes, I mean, that's a big part of it. And so, you know, you really have to think about even the smallest amount does add up. So not saying to take thousands of dollars out of your weekly or bi-weekly check. Think about just a small amount.
To start.
I mean, whatever the match is, 6%, if you can do 6% of your check, that would be great because you're getting free money from the company. Take it.
And a lot of companies, even I believe, I don't know, but I'm thinking even McDonald's and Walmart and all the biggest employers, I think even they offer retirement plans. I'm not 100% positive. You'll have to look into that. But I think people who don't think they have a retirement plan will be surprised to find out that they do.
Right. It's worth investigating it, asking some questions of your boss, your manager, or whoever might be in charge.
Now, anybody with earned income from 14 to, as long as you're working 70s or 80s, is eligible to save for retirement. I don't have earned income, but I am still eligible to save for retirement. How's that, Steve?
Right. So it's called a spousal IRA.
I'm the spouse.
Where
he's the one with the earned income.
The spouse can open up an account, again, Schwab, T. Rowe Price, JP Morgan, and have retirement fund and put money into it every year.
Now, we didn't know about this till recently. That's another big mistake that we made.
Right. And so, of course, you have to allocate some funds to put in there, which is over and above your personal IRA or 401k.
And the limits are $6,500, or if you're over 50, $7,500, which sounds like a huge amount of money. We're managing our money carefully because our state allows you to take $35,000 out of retirement money and not pay state tax from 62 to 64. So if we had put the money in under my name, then we could have taken money out of both Steve's and my accounts. Once you turn 65, you are eligible to get $65,000. So we're not going to be able to take the full limit up, but we don't know what the future holds. So we regret that we did not have more money in my name and less in Steve's name. So we are working to slowly build some more retirement funds in my name, and we're using that spousal IRA to do that. And we are taking money out each year out of Steve's and putting some of it into mine. So he is not paying state tax on up to $35,000 because he is not 65 yet. And we're switching it to my name. So when I'm 62, I can take $35,000 out. Now, we don't have very much money in mine because we only learned about this fairly recently.
Right. So that's why you really have to understand the laws in your state and understand how it's going to benefit you with an individual IRA or a spousal IRA or a 401k. That way you can make all the right decisions. So understanding where there's free money is extremely important. And I call it free money because it's money that you're getting. It could be tax-free. It could be the matching 6% or less from your company. But that's money that isn't coming out of your pocket.
Now, we are earning more on our retirement accounts than you earn in the bank. But again, you've got that risk. You've got a greater risk. And they're not like a bank account where if the bank fails, FDIC steps in and that money's covered. If you can lose this money. And that's another thing. We're going to get into mistakes we made, but we have lost a lot of money through the years. We lost money. Plus, there's fees. There are maintenance fees in these accounts that are not always transparent. So there is a cost to getting this higher return.
There is. And sometimes the maintenance fees change and fluctuate, and you don't usually know about it until you see a statement and there's some minus dollar amount that you have no idea what it is about. And usually it's a maintenance fee. But the good thing,
I actually majored in finance in college, and the one thing they drilled in our head in all my finance classes is what goes up does come down. Stocks cannot be on a continual uprise. Currently, they are going up. It's exciting to see that, but they can't keep doing that. They do have to come down.
that's right. And when they come down, be prepared to lose, but don't panic. That's the whole thing with investments, is that they are going to go up and down. And so, what you have today could be gone somewhat tomorrow, but they will come back up. But if you were to sell what you have because you panicked, you saw them going down, you're just going to lose more money. And the money that you've lost is just going to multiply, and you never have a chance to make that back.
But what's ironic is when they're up, I always tell Steve, let's sell some and cash in. And he says, no, we're making so much money. Let's keep it. And I said, but tomorrow they're down and we've lost money. So when is that perfect time to sell?
And that's hard to decide. That's hard to determine. I think you kind of are stuck because you don't want to give up opportunity, but you also don't want to lose. So you're kind of stuck in the middle.
You have to find that sweet spot.
Right. I mean, when you feel that you've made enough from a stock, then it's time to let go of it. And of course, the old saying is buy low, sell high. And so you got to wait. If you're in the middle of a downturn, you got to wait for that upswing.
Slow and steady wins the race. When you're investing, this is a long-term proposition. You're not going to cash in every time you want to go on vacation or get a pool or whatever you want to do at your house.
Right. Not advisable. Because once you do that, then you lose, the shares that you've purchased at whatever price, you've lost those. And the dividends that come along with it. Most stocks pay dividends back to you. So you could own a stock and you're earning as the stock is growing, but you're also earning dividends that the company can pay back to you. And that's a whole nother video about dividends.
If you've enjoyed this video, please subscribe.
Yes, please subscribe, hit the notification and like buttons.
We're not retirement people like we said, so we do a variety of videos. We are what we call as generalists. We know a little bit about a lot of topics.
Right, so we're not money experts, we're not financial advisors.
Yard experts.
We're not experts in anything, really. It's just that we've lived life and we've made a lot of mistakes and learned from them, and that's what we're sharing.
Yes, so we do videos on our yard work, organization, painting. We're getting ready to do a video on painting, as a matter of fact.
Ooh, that'll be fun.
And then what else? Food,
yes.
Our dog, Sierra, who's 12, and our daughter's dog, who's been staying with us. She's 2.
Yes, and she's a never-ending bundle of energy.
So we're just doing things in our life, which a lot of people have the similar life as us.
That's right, they sure do.
Comment below what type of things you'd like us to do a video on. We're flexible and we enjoy learning about all different things. We're always learning, aren't we, Steve?
That's right, we sure are. We're learning every minute of every day.
When I was 21 and graduated, I thought I knew everything. The older I get, the more I realize I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
We research constantly and learn, like our air rating video. That was fun.
Oh yeah, that was a lot of fun.
So comment below, subscribe, and until we see you again,
Take it easy.